Hi everyone, my name is Stephen-Antoun, and this video will encompass information on the normal physiology of the human eye, retinitis pigmentosa that causes loss of sight and peripheral vision, and the bionic eye, in particular IGAS-2, a recent medical development that alleviates these problems. Prior to addressing this issue, it is essential to first comprehend the anatomy and physiology of the human eye. So before light can reach the rods and cones of the retina, it must pass through certain parts of the eye. Light rays produced by artificial light from our surroundings enter the eye through the cornea, the transparent front part of the eye, which envelops the pupil, the iris, and the anterior chamber. The cornea typically bends or refracts light rays that pass through the pupil. The iris, which is the colored part of the eye that surrounds this pupil, then alters the shape of the pupil by either opening in dark environments or closing in brighter environments. This is to regulate the light that enters. The rays then proceed through the lens, which is controlled by the muscles of the ciliary body, which either contract or relax to alter its focal length, depending on the distance from which the light rays are reflected into the eye. This process is referred to as accommodation, however we won't be covering this in this talk. Therefore, the light rays then travel through the vitreous humor and then are then focused on the back of the eye, the retina part. So the retina is the part of the eye that I would like to draw your attention towards. It is a photoreceptive, thin layer of tissue where light rays are focused by refraction through the cornea and lens as aforementioned. It lines the inner surface of the ray of the eyeball and is held in place by the vitreous humor, which is a jelly-like fluid that fills the chamber of the eye and is located directly behind the lens. So why is the retina important, you ask? Well, the retina is composed of several layers, one of which is a sheet of photoreceptor cells called rods and cones that, when triggered by photons of light, result in a number of electrochemical events that generate chemical and nervous signals that are interpreted as images and visual representations by the visual cortex of the brain via the optic nerve. Because light needs to travel through several layers of cells prior to reaching the photoreceptor cells, image distortion can occur. In order to reduce this distortion, the proximal cell layers contain unmyelinated fibers. So there are two types of photoreceptor cells. There's rods and there's cones. Cones mediate central vision and color vision and have a low sensitivity, hence perform superlative in medium and bright light. They are concentrated in a small central area of the retina called the macula, which also contains a concavity called the fovea, which only contains cone photoreceptors and is responsible for maximum visual sharpness and color vision. Example of this is here. Rod photoreceptors, on the other hand, function best in low light due to their high sensitivity and are responsible for detecting motion and provide black and white vision, also referred to as night vision. They are also scattered throughout the retina. So there's a long list of problems associated with the retina, one of which is retinitis pigmentosa. This is a genetic eye condition that causes the breakdown or loss of cells in the photosensitive retina. This can be greatly disadvantageous as a complete loss of sight is a possible outcome. During the early stages, rods are more severely affected than cones, and this results in reduced night vision and loss of peripheral vision. An example of this is this image here, where the driver has lost their complete peripheral vision. This degeneration of rods also leads to the loss of cones, resulting in greater loss of visual field. Therefore, people will lose their ability to perform essential daily tasks without assistance, with blindness a real future possibility. This image also shows the degeneration of rods and cones. So now I'll be addressing the IGAS-2, or IGAS retinal prosthesis. So the IGAS retinal prosthesis, also known as the bionic eye, is a relatively new and exciting three-part medical device that greatly aids patients who have lost their vision due to retinitis pigmentosa by giving them some perception of light and motion. Essentially, the IGAS-2 is an electrical retinal implant whereby a surgery of a few hours is performed to place a miniature electronic device on the patient's retina. This implant is also accompanied by external accessories such as a camera mounted on a pair of glasses and a portable video processing unit. Its functionality is quite simple. The images are captured and processed by the camera and processing unit and then sent wisely to the retinal implant. The implant then stimulates living cells in the retina, which in turn enables the brain to interpret these patterns as light. So this is an example of the device. It's got the camera with the processing unit and the retinal implant, which is located there. So now I want to address the benefits. First and foremost, although it doesn't restore full vision in fine detail, it restores black and white, and the patient eventually begins to interpret the signals produced to view their surroundings, and in some cases, read large text. There are currently 350 users worldwide, and this figure is growing. Therefore, with a growing number of users, developers will aim to increase its efficiency and further develop the product in order to cater for a wider range of problems with the eye. So it also enables the patients to perform essential daily tasks, which was once ceased due to this retinitis pigmentosa. And here we've got an image of a person with the device on. And yeah, thank you for listening.